Hi there, all my 9th standard students. How's it going for you all? Good? Okay, so with this, we come to the fourth part of Act 1, Scene 2, which is the concluding part. Today, I hope to finish Act 1, Scene 2 with you all of Julius Caesar. So, we shall begin from where we left off last. We left off where Casca was explaining to Brutus and Cassius what had happened at the games, means at the course. He was explaining to them and he was telling them how Caesar had swooned. So we'll continue from there. Okay, please open your textbooks. Cassius, but soft I pray you. What? Did Caesar swooned? So Cassius is asking, oh, tell us again, did Caesar actually swoon? Casca, he fell down in the marketplace and foamed at the mouth and was speechless. That means Caesar had this epileptic fits. He used to get these fits very often. So Brutus, it is very like he had the following sickness. What do you mean by he had the following sickness? That Brutus, Caesar had this falling sickness. Now by falling sickness, Brutus over here means that he is prone to have these epileptic fits. But Cassius puts a pun on the word falling, if you will notice over here. No, Caesar hath it not, but you and I and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness. So please underline over here, Cassius has turned the word and he has used falling as a he's put a pun on the word falling. He has said that the Romans had this falling sickness because they all agreed to bow down to the dictatorship of Caesar. They have so we have this sickness of the common citizens have this sickness of being over humble and bowing down to Caesar and his dictatorship. Casca, I know not what you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down. He's saying, I don't know what you mean, but I am sure Caesar fell down. If the tag rag people did not clap him and hiss him according to as he pleased and displease them as they used to the players in the theatre, I am no true man. So he's saying, but Caesar was very pleased by all of them and they were very happy, and Caesar was very happy to see that everybody was trying to please him. So, and before he actually had that fit, what he did was marry, means I swear that before he fell down, he perceived the common herd. Common herd means the common crowd. He perceived all of them and was glad he refused the crown. That he was glad that the herd was glad that he refused the crown. He plucked me open, his doublet. Op means open. He plucked open his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. So he's saying before he actually fainted and before all that happened, he opened up his doublet and he offered his throat to the people that, come on, y'all can slay me from here. Okay. And I had been a man of any occupation, if I would not have taken him at a word, I might go to hell among the rogues. So here Casca is saying, if I had been actually a workman means a workman with a twofold meaning. Now the workman means two things over here. One is it means the mechanic with whom the common people whom he has offered, the laborers. So one, the meaning of workman is, the first meaning is mechanic, and the second meaning is a man of action. Workman is also a man of action, somebody who performs an action, not that he just talks. So he's saying, if I had been a workman, means if I had been one of the laborers and had I really been a man of action, I swear I would have cut his throat off and I would have gone to hell. And so he fell. Who fell? Caesar. Yes. So Caesar fell. When he came to himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. So when he came to consciousness again, when he regained consciousness again, he said, who said? Caesar said that just in case if I have said something wrong while I was fainting, or if I have done some wrong action while I was fainting, then please take it as my infirmity. Infirmity is my weakness. Please don't take it wrong. And 3 or 4 of the benches, benches here means women. So 3 or 4 of the benches where I stood cried, "Alas, good soul," and forgave him with all their hearts. But there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less. So he's saying there were 3 or 4 of those women who said that, "Alas, poor fellow, he's so good." That way, Brutus. And after that he came thus sad away. Aye. Did Cicero say anything? Aye means yes. So he said aye. He spoke Greek. Who spoke Greek? Cicero. So Cicero spoke Greek. So Cassius is asking, to what effect? What did Cicero say? So Casca is saying, "Nay, and I tell you that I'll never look you in the face again. But those that understood him," means I can't tell you that because I don't know Greek. "But those who understood him smiled at one another and they shook their heads. But for mine own part, it was Greek to me. And I did not understand what they were talking. I mean, what Cicero was talking, because Cicero was speaking in Greek. So I did not understand. And but I can tell you something more. Now, what is the other piece of important news that he is going to give him? See, he says, Marullus and Flavius. For I could tell you more news too. Marullus and Flavius, for pulling scarfs of Caesar's images, are put to silence. Put to silence means put to death. And why? Because they committed the crime of pulling all the decorations out. We had seen in scene 1 when these 2 tribunes were talking that let's pull out all the decorations. So they are put to silence. Fare you well. There was more foolery yet if I could remember it. So he's saying, okay, bye, I'm going now. There has been a lot of foolery, but I don't remember that. Cassius, will you sup with me tonight, Casca? So he's asking him, will you have dinner with me tonight? No, I am promised 4th. Means I have to go somewhere else. Cassius, okay. Will you dine with me tomorrow? Aye, if I be alive. Now see, Casca, we have seen that he is a sour fellow. He is a cynic. Isn't it? I have just explained to you what a cynic is. So his cynical attitude can be seen over here also, where he says that, yeah, I'll dine with you tomorrow if I'm alive. And your mind hold means you haven't changed your mind. So if I'm alive and if you haven't changed your mind and your dinner is worth eating, then I will dine with you tomorrow. So that is what he has said. Okay. Cassius, good. I will expect you. Casca, do so. Farewell both. Brutus, what a blunt fellow is this grown to be. He was quick metal when he went to school. So now Brutus is commenting on Casca, and Brutus is telling us that Casca is a dull fellow. What do you mean by a dull fellow? Blunt over here means dull. Blunt doesn't mean outspoken, it means a dull fellow, and somebody who is not quick into action, but dull and stupid. But he's saying that when he was in school, he was much more sharp and much more intelligent, which he is not anymore. Cassius. Now that was Brutus's opinion. Now Cassius's opinion. So is he now in execution. That means he was quick metal when he went to school, means he was a man of action when he went to school. So Cassius is saying, so is he now in execution of any bold or noble enterprise. So he's saying now also, at this moment also, Casca still is very quick into action if he wants to perform any noble enterprise, any noble cause, he will do it quickly. However, he puts on this tardy form, means the cynical attitude, so that his rudeness is a sauce to his good wit. That means this tardy form means a pretense of laziness, pretense of not bothering, the pretense of being unconcerned and sour. So he's saying he puts on this form just to of this rudeness is a sauce to his good wit. Good wit means his intelligence. It is just an application to that. So it gives men to digest what he is saying. because he's so rude basically, so he tries to add this so that his intelligence is covered up with this rudeness and people are able to digest what he says, which gives men stomach to digest his words with a better appetite. Brutus. And so it is. For this time I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please, to speak to me, I will come home to you, or if you will, come home to me and I will wait for you. So Brutus is saying, okay Cassius, now I'm leaving you. In case you have to say to me something, anything, you can come to me tomorrow to my house, or I will come to your house. Cassius, I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Now here again Cassius has said very vague. He gives a very vague reply. What does he say? He says, okay, we'll meet tomorrow. Till then, my dear Brutus, think of the world. Over here the world means think of Rome, think of the citizens of Rome, think of how what I've told you, that Caesar is heading towards being a dictator and the people of Rome are not happy and they are waiting that when the noble Brutus will wake up and noble Brutus will do something so that we are saved from this age's yoke, means these oppressive times. Exit Brutus. Now we come to the soliloquy. Well, Brutus, thou art noble. Yet I see, children, before I read this soliloquy, I want to tell you all, please mark this soliloquy. It's a very important soliloquy. Do you know what's a soliloquy? A soliloquy is a dialogue delivered by one person, means a person is talking to himself. The only difference being, when you're talking to yourself, it's called a soliloquy. If there are two people talking, it's called a dialogue. So this is a soliloquy where he is speaking to himself. But here the difference is that because it is being performed on a stage, it is that Cassius is speaking to himself, but at that time the Elizabethan audience, means the people who are there, who are watching the play down, the commoners and citizens and whoever has come to see the play, they all can hear every word of the soliloquy that is said by that particular actor. You understood? So that is a soliloquy, and this soliloquy is very important. It is the first soliloquy. So I will do so. We start with the soliloquy. Well, Brutus, thou art noble. Yet I see thy honourable metal may be wrought. From that it is disposed. Therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. So he's telling them, Cassius is talking to himself, but actually he's telling the audience. It's as if he's thinking in his mind. He's thinking out aloud and he's saying, well, Brutus, I do see that you are a very noble person. And your metal, means your steel, your strength is made of great nobility. But your nobility means your metal can be wrought. Wrought means twisted, bent, shaped. Just as steel, we can, if you heat the steel too much, and to a particular temperature, I'm not a science person, so I don't know much, but when you heat steel to a particular temperature, then you can give it the shape that you want to give it, isn't it? So similarly, he is comparing, it's a metaphor, please mark over here, it's a metaphorical comparison between Brutus's nobility and the metal steel, metal, metal steel. Okay, so here the noble spirits of Brutus are compared to a metal, and he's saying that your metal can be metal. What is the pun over here? One is metal, metal, and the actual metal mettle is the nature of a person. So he's saying your nature is noble and it can be wrought the way we can wrought steel. So he's saying that I see that I can do that. From that it is disposed. Therefore it is meet. It is meet means it's proper. The actual thing, the proper thing would be that noble minds keep ever with their likes. So he's saying that it is proper, it is the correct thing that when you have a very noble mind, you should be on par. You should keep with noble people. Keep your company with the noble. Don't be with the ignoble, sort of, he's trying to say. So he's saying from that it is disposed, therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. For who's a firm that cannot be seduced? He's saying which person or which human nature is such that he cannot be seduced, means he cannot be cajoled into turning his opinion. Nobody is that firm. Their opinions can get turned. So, for who so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, means Caesar dislikes me. So Cassius is aware of the fact that Caesar does not like him, and therefore he says, Caesar doth dislike me, but he loves Brutus. So Caesar dislikes me, no doubt, but Caesar loves Brutus. Okay, now see, read this, it's very important. Okay, if I were Brutus now and he were Cassius, he should not humor me. So what is Cassius saying? He's interchanging the position. He's saying, supposing I was Brutus and Brutus was Cassius, then that Cassius, Brutus who has become a Cassius, would not be able to influence my mind, would not be able to incite me, because I would have been more firm. यानी वो ये कहना चाहता है कि अगर मैं ब्रूटस की जगह होता, मतलब मैं ब्रूटस बन जाता और कैशियस ब्रूटस बन जाता, तो वो जो कैशियस था वो ब्रूटस को इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं कर सकता था. So if I interchange the positions of Cassius and Brutus, then the new Cassius would not be able to influence the new Brutus. So in short, he is trying to say that Brutus should not have got influenced by me, but I know that Cassius will get influenced by me. He is so sure of himself. And now see what he has planned. Okay, he has planned, if he should not humor me, I will this night in several hands at his windows throw, as if they came from several citizens' writings. So all tending, where's it gone? All tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name. Now see what is the meaning of this? I will this night in several hands in at his window throw. So he's saying that I will in different handwriting, I will write a few letters and I will throw those letters from Brutus's window. So they go into his house. So I will throw from there, from his windows, I will throw several letters, and it will be in different handwriting. So it will look as if there are lots of citizens who have written these letters and have thrown it on Brutus's window. And what am I going to write in that? I am going to write, as if they came from several citizens' writings, all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name. So he's saying, I am going to write in those letters, all different people, as if they are writing, that how much Rome respects him. Rome means the citizens of Rome. So how much Rome respects him, how much they respect his ancestors who had established the first republic. So, who had delivered them from the tyrannical rule of King Tarquin. We have done that in the first module, if you remember, that King Tarquin was overthrown by Brutus's ancestor, by Julius Brutus. So he's saying, I will write all that, and I will write that how and how much we appreciate and how much we Roman citizens love Brutus and how much respect we have for Brutus. that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely. Now in those letters, not will I only write that how much people respect him, but obscurely means in a sly manner, I will also write how the people of Rome, I will write about Caesar's ambition. So Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. So I will just glance at Caesar's ambition, as if mentioning that the citizens of Rome are afraid that Caesar has become too ambitious. Okay. Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. And after this, let Caesar seat him sure. He's saying, once I write those letters on behalf of the citizens of Rome, and once I throw them into Brutus's window, let Caesar seat himself sure. Means he's saying it's good that Caesar ensures that he has made his position very secure, because by these letters and by my inciting Brutus, for we will shake him. Shake whom? Shake Caesar. We will ensure that Caesar doesn't have a very strong position. We will shake him, or worse days ensure. He's saying either we will shake Caesar's firm position, or worse days will endure. Means if I'm not able to get Brutus on my side, if I'm not able to incite Brutus, if I'm not able to, who's saying Cassius? If I'm not able to put that thought into Brutus's mind that we are being oppressed by Caesar, then worse days will come for us. So we have to be sure of that. And he's saying, and then it is exit. And with that we come to an end of Act 1, Scene 2. This is the concluding part of Act 1, Scene 2, children. And totally we've got 4 parts. Okay, this is the 4th part, that is the concluding part. I have done 3 parts before this to explain to you. Now before I come to an end of this, since we are on this, there are a lot of number of questions which of course I will be sharing with you. I mean the ones that I think are important. But there is one thing I would like to tell you. Please pay a lot of attention to what your teachers are teaching you in school and what they are telling you in class. It's very, very important. And the questions given by your teacher, or there are a number of workbooks that you get in the market, please, or better still, your school would have definitely recommended some workbook. So my advice to you is that pick up that workbook and do the question answers in that workbook. Practice writing. Whether whether the teacher teaching you in school has time to check or doesn't have time to check each individual answer, please practice writing, because writing is very important. You are not going to be typing out your answers. I keep saying this again and again because I have been teaching for many, many years, and I have seen a great many intelligent students who have lost out because they have not been able to write all the points that they knew. So they had to cut out their answers. And when we check the ICSE answers, we check on the points mentioned. Even if it is an answer in detail, what are the number of points that you have given in that particular answer? That shows how much you have understood of the text, how much of the play you have been able to grasp. So please practice writing and work on the workbook that your school has recommended, or if your school hasn't recommended, there are a number of workbooks present in the market. You can go through any one which you like and practice writing. And please listen to what your teacher is saying. And in case there is any problem and you haven't understood my lecture, any part of this Act 1, Scene 2, there are 4 parts like I told you, please put in your questions. I'll definitely answer you as soon as possible. And with that, we come to a close of this. Before that, I want to give you a short note on Cassius's soliloquy. This soliloquy of Cassius, children, is extremely important. And please, I would like you all to take a screenshot of this. Pause the video, take a screenshot. We'll be reading this answer together. Okay, ready? Let's read. Cassius's soliloquy. A soliloquy is a speech where the speaker speaks to himself. However, when it is spoken on stage, the audience is able to hear every word. This speech is important. Why is this soliloquy important? That's given over here. This speech is important because it is the first soliloquy of the play. It reveals his characters and motives. Plans are unfolded to some extent, and we are able to foretell the development of the plot. Third point, I marked arrows for you over there so you know that how many points we are talking about. Third point, it reveals Cassius's envious nature, his personal motives of animosity towards Caesar. It just tells us how envious he is of Caesar and Caesar's rise. It also reveals his readiness to use fraud and deceit to incite Brutus into action. So he will do anything just because he wants to incite Brutus into action. The soliloquy also prepares us for the organization of the conspiracy, because from here on we are going to see how the conspirators, how Cassius gets all the conspirators together and how they start the conspiracy is planned. It ends with a prediction of troubles. Also notice that the scene ends with a rhyming couplet after a blank verse. This was a common device used by Shakespeare to let the audience know that the scene was over, as there was no curtain during the Elizabethan playhouse when they were playing. There were no curtains. So this was a common device that Shakespeare used to use to show that this particular scene has got over. And with that, I come to an end of Act 1, Scene 2. If you have any problems, do let me know. Till then, keep learning, keep studying. Like I told you, small parts will help you to remember better, to retain longer. So please do it on a regular basis and practice a lot of writing. Bye children. All the best for everything.